Good day to the Genee. My name is Genee Ying, and I am going to present about the assignment 2 of ECH 4203 Fermentation Technology. My topic for the assignment 2 is Auxotrophic mutants for secondary metabolites. From the topic, let's go to the introduction part by introduce what is Auxotrophic mutants. Auxotrophic mutants actually is a mutant string of microorganisms that will proliferate only when the medium or the nutrient are supplied with some specific substance that are not required by the wild-type organism. Let's go to the second part of the introduction. What is the secondary metabolites? Secondary metabolites are the compounds that are not required for growth and useful production of the organism, but they are produced to confer the selective advantages of other organisms. Examples of secondary metabolites including antibiotics, pigments, sins, and others. And how the auxotrophic mutants will be reacted in producing the secondary metabolites will be discussed further. Actually, mutants divide into prototrophic mutants and auxotrophic mutants. Mutants is an organism with chance and it could be defective in synthesis of some substance and have to be fed with leucines in order to grow. But what is the difference between the prototrophic mutants and the auxotrophic mutants? Prototrophic mutants is self-sufficient producers of all required metabolites. It can be named as real type, and it will grow in minimum media or the media that lack of supplement or the nutrient that are not required. It is used in extractive essential biochemical compounds. The example of the phototrophic mutants are the phototrophic plants that are not required tryptophan supply as they can make their own nutrient. While for the auxotrophic mutants is opposite to the prototrophic mutants. Auxotrophic mutants require a medium with the metabolite that they cannot produce. It cannot grow on a minimal medium without the certain supplement or applied nutrient. It is used in metabolic pathway. The example of auxotrophic mutants are the yeast mutants and the triauxotroph that require the tryptophan to grow up the triad bacteria. Nowadays, the mutation has been very used to improve the productivity of industrial culture in shifting the metabolite production in fermentation process that I found from journal. The use of the auxotrophic mutants that grow in the appropriate supplements is used to improve the yield of secondary metabolites. Thus, it can be said that the secondary product is totally affected by the auxotrophic mutant. Here are some of the reasons why the auxotrophic mutants are used to produce the secondary metabolites. The higher production level of secondary metabolites will be achieved by using the auxotrophic mutants such as lipoid or thymine. It can also use to enhance the yield of secondary metabolites. For instance, some leucine auxotrophic and the penicillium sp will produce more secondary metabolites when compared to their phototrophic parents. Another use of auxotrophic mutants is used to solve the problems of large accumulation of the substrate and the division of the enzyme that will occur to inhibit the end product. Okay, next I'm going to discuss about how the auxotrophic mutants will be involved in producing the secondary metabolites. So these are all the examples that involving the auxotrophic mutants for producing secondary metabolites. For example, the use of the short diamyosin created as auxotrophic mutants to produce the tyrosines. And the second example is the production of the antinomyosin by using the ester antibiotics used as auxotrophic mutants. And in the next example is the overproduction of carboronic acid by using the short diamyosis clavirigerus as an auxotrophic mutant. Okay, this is the more example that I found from a journal by using the auxotrophic mutants such as the Brevibacterium, the Bacillus, and the Streptomycins to produce the secondary metabolites such as iosinic acid, bacillus, and the penicillin. Okay, let's go to how for the example of the overproduction of carboronic acid by using the Streptomyces clavirigerus as auxotrophic mutants, and let's go to the method how is producing the carboronic acid by using auxotrophic mutants. Okay, first we will undergo the incubation first. Incubate the calcium 108 mutagenous host in a minimum medium with pH 6.8 at 28 degrees. The minimum medium chemical region will be stated as figure shown. And next, after incubation, we'll undergo the filtration After germination of the spores, the biocide will be removed from the media by filtration. So the figure shows the filtration, and after the filtration, it will be treated with the chlorophenol to kill the biocide fragments. Next, after filtration, we'll go to the washing. By washing out the phytochlorophenol, and the ungerminated spores will be incorporated in a fresh mineral media such as fluorescent agar. And the fluorescent agar chemical region will show in the figure as an orange color there. And it is incubated in pH 7.3 with 28 degrees Celsius. After washing, we will go to the replicated planting, and we'll plant it at 2 petri dish and wash with the spores and 50 gram per millimeter of the riboric acid and hydrochloride and solidified with 2% agar. And then another one is same with the spores and the riboric acid and the hydrochloride with 2% agar, but is without the vitamin supplies. After planted, we'll go to we'll incubate the Auxotrophic mutants. The Auxotrophic mutants will be incubated in the seed media, and it will sterilize it will incubate it at the pH 7.5. And the seed media is shown as the seed media chemical region is shown in the figure. And after it's incubate, the Auxotrophic media will go to the orbital shaker to incubate it, and it will incubate at 26 to 28 degrees with the 220 to 250 rpm for 24 hours. After incubation in the orbital shaker incubation, it will continue for incubate for 120 hours. Then we'll undergo the HPR analysis to analyze the higher yield of the clavulanic acid production. Hence, that's how the Auxotrophic mutants involving in producing the clavulanic acid. And let's go to the conclusion. The Auxotrophic mutants microorganisms will increase the production of the secondary metabolites, hence we using Auxotrophic mutants to produce the secondary metabolites. And the process and method are very important, like the isolation of the mutant microorganism can arrangements the mutational cooperation by selectively to kill the protoforms and selecting set mutants by using the replicate planting that I mentioned before. And the using of the Auxotrophic mutants such as the lipoid, it will produce overproduction of primary metabolites has been achieved. However, the use of the Auxotrophic mutants to produce the higher yields of secondary metabolites will be investigated further. So let's go. This is the reference that I used for this assignments. That's all from me. Thank you.